Hello, lovies. This is Christina with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC here on Universal Spirit Podcast. I'm actually recording this today on April 8th, right in the middle of this major Aries solar eclipse. And I'm talking about how psychics and mediums and spiritualists can be affected by events such as eclipses, retrogrades, conjunctions, and a lot of other planetary alignments that happen in the solar system that tend to affect our mind, our body, and if not all of those things. The reason being is because everyone is feeling so very chaotic and feeling very like uncertain, and even just feeling just like not like themselves. There are times where, like, oh, you know what, maybe I should get a reading and figure out what is going on. I feel something, but I'm not very sure. You got to understand, too, that the spiritualist or medium or psychic that you are going to is also, in fact, a human being, and they are going through the exact same things. Now, I'm not going to say that your readings are not accurate when these things are happening, but I will say that a psychic medium and a spiritualist and occultist or whoever you go to, they're gonna have their own energy a little bit frazzled as well. No matter how much protection you put on, no matter how much lavender you rub around your face to stay calm, and do what it is crystals and everything it is for centering are going to do, or opening up your chakras, that reader is still going to have their own type of shaken up energy. Also, especially if the reader is affected by the current solar, cosmic event. You got to know like the zodiac of your reader, and then also knowing all their placements, and also knowing the placements in your particular chart as well. Very important that you do know these things. So if you go to a reader during this time, you are probably going to have a little bit of miscommunication, or you might not quite understand your reading, or they might not be able to communicate it 100% like they used to before. A lot of spiritual practitioners will in fact refrain from giving out readings and guidance during this time. Usually spiritual people or mediums or psychics will kind of go ghost on their clients, or in their business in general, and take a little bit of a hiatus during retrogrades and alignments and conjunctions, just for the sake of knowing that they might not be as accurate, or might not be as focused. So keep that in mind whenever you are getting a reading and you happen to realize that it is in fact a retrograde currently happening. I say all this to say too is because I've had many clients come to me and tell me what other psychics have told them. And sometimes, not all the time, but some clients are not very aware of the planetary movements happening at that particular time, or at the time they went to go to that reader before they came to me. I oftentimes do tell them, if you're able to tell me exactly what day you went or what week you went, it's possible that there was a conjunction or some type of retrograde or some type of solar event that was happening, and that might have caused them to misinterpret your reading, not for the sake that they're not good, but sometimes people, like I said, knowing the astrology of your reader, it's possible one or more of their houses were affected by that. So like I said, it does affect the reading. Sometimes it does affect the accuracy, and sometimes they pick up on other energies that were not currently asked about or involved. And the outer energy might even feel like it's sneaking up on us to the point where we can't quite pinpoint as to why we are feeling that, we are seeing that. We can become just as confused as the client sometimes. But like I said, a lot of spiritual practitioners will in fact refrain from even doing spiritual work during a retrograde or during a conjunction or even like a solar eclipse event. Now, these things are not, it's not a one size fits all for every spiritualist. Okay. However, I'm just giving like a general, if you were to understand that, why are they accurate sometimes, and then they weren't as accurate, this time. take that into account. Definitely do your astrological mapping and see what's going on. Because before you start to judge the reader, see what's going on with yourself as well as to why you feel like you need a reader. So I hope this helped. I hope it gave you a little insight as to, do these things affect spiritual people? Absolutely. Does it affect, everyone the same? No, it does not. So I thought I would just give a little insight about that, because I know that's some of the questions that people do ask about spiritualists, occultists, and mediums. So once again, this is Christina with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC here on Universal Spirit Podcast. I hope this helped, and I hope to see you in the next episode. All right, see ya.